Today we're looking at the ARK Invest Big Ideas 2026 report and their latest thoughts on autonomy. Autonomous vehicles, cars driving themselves and lowering costs for everyone. Pretty well summed up. Robotaxis are beginning to take share from ride-hail. On the left here, the first chart. Pretty shocking when I first saw this a few months back. Waymo is pressuring Uber's and Lyft's market share in San Francisco. And what we see here, Waymo in purple, Uber black, Lyft in green. From August 2023 until roughly 2 years later, August 2025, Waymo's share of rides in the city of SF grew from approximately 0% to roughly 1/4 of the market, despite astronomical pricing relative to services like Uber and Lyft. San Francisco was the first city that Waymo launched, and I'm sure most people watching will be aware, but just in case you're not, home of a number of huge tech companies, although many of them have fled or set up a second and third base elsewhere. You've got a lot of tech enthusiasts and tech workers in the San Francisco Bay Area. A lot of early adopters, people willing to give a service a try, and fairly well remunerated, economically prosperous people with lots of expendable income. The fact that Waymo, in just 2 years, went from essentially zero market share to 1/4 is unbelievable, especially with premium pricing. It is, of course, a premium service. Most people would prefer not having to deal with a human driver. A Waymo vehicle is unlikely to attempt to take advantage of your mildly intoxicated college-age daughter. A driverless vehicle probably isn't going to have any issues with a pungent body odor, a distracted driver talking through an earpiece to family back home. By the way, why is that always a thing? I actually don't understand. The privacy, the safety, the comfort. Some people just want to get in and do some emails or work or just chill out, zone out. They don't want to have a conversation with an overly chatty driver. So unless people are extreme extroverts, most people see an autonomous vehicle as a premium service and thus are willing to pay a premium price. But not everyone can afford the premium price, so we'll get to more on that in a moment. But this is a great proof point. Interestingly enough, it was just over a decade ago that Uber first really began to gain traction in the exact same city, San Francisco. Well, the taxi drivers were very mad at the time, and now the disruptor is becoming the disruptee. My first ever trip in an Uber was in 2014 in the city of San Francisco. I was there for the inaugural Airbnb Open. It's a long story. I've told it in the past. And everyone, and I mean everyone, was adamant, bro, use Uber. Taxis suck. The Uber will arrive faster and it's going to be cheaper. And sure enough, my very first experience in the city, out with some friends, heading to some bars. I ordered an Uber that arrived in 2 to 3 minutes. I was shocked. So, premium service at a premium price, already capturing 1/4 of the rideshare market in a fairly prosperous city. In the center here, we have daily Robotaxi miles, including fully driverless and those with a safety monitor. The best of the bunch so far, shy of 350,000 miles per day. It's not nothing, but still fairly low scale. On the right, we have cumulative autonomous miles in the billions. And notice the discrepancy here. Tesla towering over everyone else. Miles equal data, and data equals necessary for training and improving the capability of your software. I still have yet to hear how anyone's going to accumulate even close, not even within a few orders of magnitude, the amount of data that Tesla is. This has big long-term implications. And now, remember I talked about Waymo with a premium price for a premium service already capturing 1/4 of the market in a single city? Well, next slide. Falling costs and falling prices should drive demand for robotaxis. And thank you, Captain Obvious. ARK with some estimates here. Waymo 5th generation vehicles, 2025 edition, incremental cost per mile. This includes depreciation, insurance, maintenance, tires, tax, blah, 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 versus a refreshed Model Y, 35% cheaper to operate. Now, this may not sound that significant, but it's astronomical. Here's why. If a driverless vehicle can arrive roughly as fast as another driverless vehicle from another company on another platform and can safely take you from point A to point B, in other words, the service, wait times, plus ability to do what you need to do is essentially equivalent, the only meaningful variable is how much you pay for the service. ARK's estimates here for the Robotaxi incremental cost per mile, so that's not the entire cost per mile, but just offering the service after you've ignored the vehicle's cost and blah, 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 just including depreciation, insurance, maintenance, and tires plus tax. You've got operating support, energy, and parking. So how much per mile once the vehicle's already in operation to offer the service? Their estimates about $1.05 per mile for Waymo versus about 68 cents for Tesla. Tesla's incremental cost per mile, about 35% lower than Waymo. And this is based on current gen Waymo vehicles and the recently refreshed Tesla Model Y, not their dedicated Cybercab. This has profound implications. Tesla could price their service to customers significantly lower than Waymo and still make a very healthy profit offering a service vastly below the price for Waymo. This is a very big problem for Waymo. A world could exist in which, and of course Waymo's not actually making money yet on their service, but if you ignore the cost to put hardware on roads, a world could exist where Waymo tries to compete with Tesla's cost per mile, offering the same service to consumers. It'll get you from point A to point B safely. There's no driver involved, and wait times are equivalent. So it's the same service. But Waymo attempting to match Tesla's cost per mile will reach a point where even if they have a 0% profit margin, they will be unable to match Tesla's cost per mile to customers. And while they're unable to match this, Tesla, massively undercutting them per mile, is also making a healthy profit. So if Waymo wanted to match Tesla's cost, which again, Tesla would have a very, very healthy profit margin, Waymo would have to lose money on every mile. At which point, why are you even in business? But wait, there's more, and it gets much worse for Waymo. ARC's estimates for the 6th generation Waymo vehicle, they're assuming this is a 2030 product, versus Tesla's Cybercab in 2030 at scale, they expect a 50% incremental cost per mile difference. Now, maybe ARC's estimates are off by a little, but surely even a dimwit can understand the implications here. If Tesla can offer a service that's equivalent, same wait times, get you from point A to point B in the same area, no driver, and do so safely, by the way, for a fraction the cost of a company like Waymo, they can profitably, massively undercut Waymo on cost per mile. And if Waymo wants to actually have customers in the future, they will need to match Tesla's price per mile to the customer. But in doing so, they'll be losing money on every single ride. Again, at which point, why are you even in business? And on the right here, we have estimates for price per mile in 2025 dollars for human-driven ride hail, e.g. an Uber or Lyft today, $2.80 per mile. 3.5 times higher than a personally owned vehicle in the US at 80 cents per mile. For comparison, human-driven ride hail in China, 50 cents per mile, which is, by the way, again, I've mentioned in the past, China is absolutely one of the lowest priority ride hail markets on the planet. Eventually, you'll want a foothold there too, but you can just see, economically right now, there's very little profit to be had until your cost per mile is shockingly low. In China, in fact, all developing nations, the third world, think Africa, India, pockets of South America, Central America, and so on. The places that make the most sense to focus first are the most prosperous, economically developed, high GDP, high real wage countries around the earth. United States, large portions of Europe, some pockets of the Middle East, Australia, New Zealand, and so on. Where people can afford to be paying around that $2.80 per mile price point today is where the most initial profits are to be had. But long term, 2035, ARK Invest expects price per mile in 2025 dollars for Robotaxis to be 25 cents a mile. Remember earlier we talked about Robotaxis being a premium service? Well, something crazy is going to happen when they're not offered at a premium price point, but at a meaningfully lower price point. It's going to be very difficult for human-driven ride hail to compete with autonomous vehicles when autonomous vehicles are superior and priced meaningfully below human-driven ride hail. Now, there's going to be a challenge here, and that, of course, is wait times. Very early on, early adopters of technology like Waymo and Tesla's Robotaxi service are willing to cop ridiculous wait times and lots of issues along the way. But the average consumer will not put up with this. I believe over the next few years, the limiting factor for Tesla is actually going to be wait times. Can they saturate a metro area with enough Robotaxis that they can price as competitively as they can and would like to without insane wait times? That's going to be the big challenge. Putting enough vehicles in a particular market that you can price very competitively, meaningfully below human-driven ride hail, yet still have comparable wait times. When that's possible in a city, you get an autonomous vehicle, a superior service, with a comparable wait time to a human-driven ride hail, or even shorter wait time, and you're paying a fraction of the price, it's G. On to the next slide. Autonomous ride hail could dominate urban transit. Today, Uber accounts for less than 1% of US urban mileage, operating at high utilization rates. Around 140,000 Robotaxis could accommodate the current ride hail volume. Yeah, that's all. That's it. This may sound like a very low number. It is, and that's actually the point. Anyone want to remind me how many vehicles per quarter Tesla produces in the United States today? all of which could operate as robotaxis in the future. The reason for this, of course, is due to much higher utilization rates. They continue provocatively. Around 24 million robotaxis, less than 10% of today's registered US vehicle fleet, would be necessary to accommodate the majority of all US urban miles travelled, e.g. not just the 1% that Uber accounts for, but all miles travelled, including those in personal vehicles. Today, Tesla has the production capacity to build fleets and accommodate all urban vehicle miles in top ride-hail cities. And that's the whole damn point. I've raised this in the past. It's really important to understand this. Tesla, in a matter of hours, days, or absolute most weeks, can produce enough autonomous capable vehicles to own the ride-hail market in a major city in the United States. Bam! We own Washington, D.C. Bam! We own Miami, Florida. Bam! Dallas, Texas. Bam! Detroit. Bam! Phoenix. Bam! Boston. We can see this laid out nicely here. We've got global Tesla Model 3 and Y production capacity, the dotted line here, just as a reference point or watermark for how many vehicles the company is currently producing, never mind the future Cybercab. And we can see the peak demand times in urban regions, around 7 a.m, people heading to work, getting to the office, blah, blah, blah. And then 4 or 5 in the afternoon, people leaving work. Obvious things are obvious. What Ark's getting at here is that today already, Tesla, just with their 3 and Y production capacity, is at a great enough scale to, as they say, build fleets and accommodate all urban vehicle miles in the top ride-hail cities. An important note down the bottom here. The urban regions included, e.g. here, just these cities, New York, Houston, LA, Washington, DC, Chicago, Atlanta, Miami, Boston, Philadelphia, Detroit, Dallas, Phoenix, represent around 33% of total urban vehicle miles travelled in the United States. Now, these 12 cities, roughly a third of the US in terms of miles travelled. Did someone say Tesla's going to dominate autonomy, take the lion's share of the profits and do so seemingly in the blink of an eye? Next slide. Robotaxis could generate around $34 trillion in enterprise value by 2030. Now, sometimes I lose track. I just wanted to check what year are we now? 2026. Oh, 26. So then there's 27, 28, 29. Oh, so 4 years from now. Oh, is that all? The primary risk to ARK's forecast is the pace at which automakers other than Tesla can scale their robotaxi fleets. Now, the breakdown in terms of enterprise value here is spread among autonomous electric auto manufacturers, and the slivers here are so small in purple you can barely see them. Fleet owners, again, a tiny, tiny, tiny sliver, and dominating the lion's share of the enterprise value, accruing to autonomous technology providers. So the question of this potential $34 trillion in enterprise value by 2030, how much might accrue to Tesla? The final slide here, this table shows robotaxi technology platforms stand to win the majority of the economics. And here in purple on the left, autonomous technology platform, Tesla, who in addition to having FSD supervised and then eventually FSD unsupervised, although it's technically already operating unsupervised in Austin, blah, blah, blah. In addition to having the technology platform, they also happen to be an automaker and an operator, fully vertically integrated. Only other company that ticks those same boxes, Zoox. ARK estimates the autonomous technology platforms to take 76% of the revenue, who cares, 97% of EBIT, aka profits, and 98% of enterprise value. Let's move over to automakers. 1% of the profits, 1% of the enterprise value, and on to the fleet operators and potentially lead generators. Profits 2%, enterprise value 1%. If this is correct or even close to correct, the real question you'd want to know then is of these autonomous technology platforms, Tesla, Baidu, Apollo, Waymo, WeRide, Pony AI, Zoox, May Mobility, Wave, DD, Neuro, and AV Ride, who has the best technology and who will be able to scale rapidly, widely, and globally? If you can figure this out and answer that question, you'll probably be eating very well in the future. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 has been part of my daily health protocol for almost half a decade. It's packed full of vitamins and minerals and helps me fill in nutritional gaps while supporting energy, digestion, and immune function. It also has prebiotics and probiotics to promote gut health. I take my health very seriously, and so should you. Try AG1 today by visiting drinkag1.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment and enjoy a free welcome kit with vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 travel packs. That's drinkag1.com/SMR.